Good morning, friends. Today we are going to learn about the Waiting for the Barbarians. Summary of this novel. Let's see, check out the first opening line of the Waiting for the Barbarians. In the opening of the Waiting for the Barbarians, the novel protagonist, who is the protagonist? The magistrate faces Colonel Joel, a sinister official, the bad official and member of the Empire's new secret police, the third bureau. Means the two characters here. The first one is the um, protagonist or magistrate. Magistrate faces the Colonel Joel. Joel. Colonel is the official member of the Empire's new secret police, the third bureau. The Colonel Joel visited the magistrate office. Joel and his third bureau believe that the Barbarians are planning to coordinate attack on the frontier regions. The official believe that means which official believe that the Colonel Joel's official believe that the Barbarians has planning to attack the frontier region. For this reason, Joel has traveled long distance from the capital to magistrate outpost. The magistrate outpost, there is office. That office, the Colonel Joel is visited and check out where is going on in this region. The magistrate does not buy the theory of the barbarian state, but the magistrate does not interested to the barbarian state. He has been living in a peace in his outpost for most of life, trading with the nomads who Joel sees as a enemy. But the magistrate does not interested to trading with the nomads who believe in that particular enemy. Joel set out on expedition in search of the barbarians. Now the Joel's working is going on. An expedition in search of the barbarians, he comes back with the group of the fisher people and nomads. Here Joel set out an expedition in search of the barbarians. He comes back with the group of the fisher people and nomads. Joel set out expedition in search of the barbarians means find out the barbarians who is there is a planning or acting is going on. He comes back with the group of fisher people and nomads. Although the majesty is horrified, he turns back his and block his ears as the Joel's imprisoners are tortured in the barracks. But the now what is happening? Joel's prisoners are tortured in the barrack. In the barrack, the army's we can say the provision or we can say the division in that particular barrack. You know that barrack means in the army. The master argues the little with the Joel about his interrogation method and idea that you can get truth of the people you torture. Magistrate argues that what argues the Joel's is about the interrogation method and idea that truth of the player torture means Joel is torture the people and this torture system of the Joel the magistrates know about that. Joel ambiguously suggests that he is after a different kind of truth than that the magistrates consider the truth. And after the tortures, Joel ambiguously suggests that is after different kind of truth that what some as consider truth consider that what is going on the truth in the particular regions. The official believe that the barbarians people attack on the um, army, the British army or whatever there is a office. It seems as a true. He takes pleasures in the inflicting suffering, and all of you know that I would like to tell about the there is a film on the waiting for the barbarians. You can see the in the I think Google or YouTube or there is a someone website we can see the waiting for the barbarians and you can check out these are some similarity between film and our novel also. The magistrate is unsettled by Joel's presence, but problem is here that the Joel's presence does not like the magistrate because magistrate is unsettled of the Joel's presence. He wants to continue his peaceful life as it was before, serving his empire in the way he always has. But the after that, magistrate does not like the presence of the Jol, and his the magistrate was want a peaceful atmosphere, but the Jol has come and the atmosphere is different. There's a torture to the people. There's a atmosphere is disturbed to the came of the Jol. Jol's empire as same as the one he served. He avoid the conflict that the fact that is he spends days in the local in the sleeping with the small bird like young girl. Jol's nature is not good. Jol's empire is the same as the one he served. He avoid the conflict the fact that what is going on. They don't know about the fact what is going here. But the Jol is sleep with the bird like young girl woman. Joel goes back to the capital to submit his report. And now, second passage, you can see that the Joel is submit of the report. What is going on in the Barbarian region? The prisoners are released. When the master sees them, is the imagine fishing them on up and putting them in the mass grave. They are so broken and brutalized he can't imagine how they can possibly return to their lives. The Joel is torture to the people, and this happening condition, the master is uh, searching about then what is going on just to see it. Slowly, one by one, when they leave, all about the one blinded girl whose legs were broken at the ankles, who begs for the food in the street. And there's one of the bird blinded girl, the blinded girl where his ankle is broken and who begs for the food in the street. The magistrate tells her she can't be on the street. He can take her into his room, and the magistrate uh, takes her girl to his room. He is stricken by an urge to help her, to soothe her, and he started by the washing her feet and broken ankle. Soon he washes her entire body, stripping her. He doesn't reflect on the power of dynamic. He can't explain his desire to clean her and oil her. It's now sexual desire. The fact that he sees no particular sexual attraction to her baffles him. He meditates at length on his sexuality, her lost beauty of the headiness. He can't tell. Now the that blinded girl take the magistrate and the washes her, oil her, and take care of the her blinded girl. And now what is happening in the end? He can't get past and scare the idea of what has been done to her. Night after night, she stay in his room, and that blinded girl stay in the magistrate room. He begs her to tell him what happened to her. Now the magistrate begs to that particular girl tell about what has happened with you. Again, he doesn't reflect on his position as interrogator. She submit to him, though he does not have sex with her. She finally tells him how the torture burned out her eyes and views of true prolonged broke on her body and killed her father in front of. Now, the blinded girl told about the what happened in the particular with her and her father. He repulsed by her through. He doesn't consider why. He goes back to the instead to a small bird-like girl who was easy to with. The nomad girl asks him why he reject her, but he has no answer. The gesture that she wants to be the with him. He doesn't reflect on the new phase of the torture that is putting her through. After this, filled with the confused feeling about the girl, a master decide to take her back to the people. Now finally, the master feel that this girl will be sent their particular region or her region. And on the horses reaches journey into desert region and toward the mountains. And they encounter difficulties. They loses horses. They run out after water for time. During the journey, a comradely feeling rises between him and girl. She is more reluctant than men, and he comes to respect her. They make love. His feeling trouble him more. He seems to be as though he might be falling in love with her. And finally, the magistrates fall in love with that blind girl. They finally spot some nomades. They track down. When they reach them, they propose to the girls to come back with him to outpost. He wants to her to return of her own choice. She says she doesn't want to go back to that place. They say goodbye and the rights of the nominates to her. Finally, that magistrate sex with that girl and sent to her people. When he gets back to the outpost, a man from the third bureau is there, and he informs the magistrate that has been charged with the treason. The magistrate finally came to her office, and there is one people of the bureau came here. He is imprisoned in the same barracks room where the barbarians were interrogated. At first, at first he feels giddy about his impermanence for how it puts him on the side of that girl. He conjures the spirit of the girl that in the place imagine her being tortured in distributing detail. He feels the anguish of the solitary confinement. He thinks his body is broken. He finds a way out of his cell. The third bureau sends out troops to find the enemy. The troops return with the prison at night. There is one of the person find send the troop of the enemy to find out the enemy, but there is no enemy. The town gathers at night to watch they torture the prisoners in public. They get children to join in the beating and men who have their hands fastened to their cheeks with the wire. Jones lead the public scapegoating. He culls the barbarian. The magistrate freed them from the cell, demand that they stop. They beat the magistrate in front of the crowd and return him to the cell. Finally, Joel may interrogate the magistrate. The magistrate tells Joel that he thinks of the being he tortured through the process is not described. Joel is tortured the people of that barbarian, and he finally also tortured the magistrate and sent to him jail also. And this describe what is happening. We do not describe to treat to the magistrate. Jules hits out again and more soldiers, leaving the warrant officer Mandeli, and there is another officer in the charge of the magistrate, and that the helper of the uh, Joel Mandali, the charge of the magistrate. The warrant officer makes a game of the torturing the magistrate neck in front of the townspeople. One day he puts the magistrate in the woman's dresses, ties his hands and behind his back and hangs him from the tree by the wrist. The magistrate's shoulders splinter his left to the hand. He finds his way out of the tree and begins to beg in the town. The finally magistrate begged to the town. The first people dismiss him, but little by little he discovers that some still respect him. Women feed him. He learns that the barbarians have flooded all their that magistrates just wandering here and there and live from the uh, jail, and some of the women also feed him. He learns that the barbarians have flooded with the oil field. People began to pack up and leave the outpost and long trek back to the capital. Mandela and his soldiers condemning those who leave their territories, but the more and more people pack up, they leave at the night. Mandela is not being seen as a soldier, terrorize the town. The majesty is getting healthier. One day the soldier arrived dead and bloated, crucified on the post, the back of the horse. At this point, Mandela takes all but there are three soldiers and leave. There is a condition is different. The soldiers is there, they have what is the torture the people, and also magistrate also um, brutalized by the officers and Mandela also. The magistrate returned to his old room. Winter is on its way. He takes charge, encourage people to grow out root vegetables within the city walls. It seems as barbarians are watching the town. Everyone is waiting for them. They dig up the custins from around the lake and gather is as much food as they can for winter. The finally the magistrates return to old room and see and people to encourage the people to grow food, and whatever they are working is going on. Last one night, Joel returned his black carriage with a couple of tortoise soldiers. They are panicked. They discover that Mandela is gone. The master Joel faces Joel and tells him he delivers evil upon himself. Even the masters demand one of the soldiers tell them what happened. The soldiers tell him that they were lured deeper and deeper into the desert and mountains by the barbarians. We are too elusive to catch. The men starved in desert. They were picked up, they fled. They never confronted the barbarians in battle. They were terrified. Joel and soldiers flee at the night. The soldiers came and some of the uh, time and find out what is going on here. But the people are terrified. There is some of the officer came and this means here waiting for the barbarians mean the people has want peaceful atmosphere in that barbarian region. But the some of the officer always treat that the uh, in you can say there is the inhuman behavior to the that barbarians. The barbarians do not take action on the officers, but there is a some mistake of that particular. The finally the passage, the master remains with the few townspeople and only three soldiers. There remains with the few townspeople there and only three soldiers. They hunker down and wait for the winter. For finally winter, what is the winter is the symbol. Winter means the prosperous. They're growing on process, growing and prosperous. There is a, we can say, atmosphere is good. This is symbol of the winter. They wait for the barbarians to attack, and the three soldiers or people think that the barbarians will attack. The first snow begins to fall. The first snow fall that the first, and the master reflects on the possibility that he lost his way to long time, and magistrate feel that the barbarians do not attack that people. The officer feel that and waiting for the barbarian. The barbarians also waiting for the good atmosphere in the this region. Just a misconflict or misunderstanding of the British army feel that the barbarian will be attacked, but there is a, these people feel that or they believe that they want to live in the peaceful atmosphere. They do not want to war and whatever they. So this is a good novel. This is the summary of the novel, and next time we can see the themes of the novel. Any doubt and any problem, and I think this I have taken from the gradesaver.com website. Is already I have sent it. Just chapter wise there is a six chapter wise summary and analysis. You can see that. Okay, thank you. Any problem you can ask me. So okay, next time next video we can see of the themes or any other questionnaires about the this novel. Thank you, thank you very much.